Okay, we'll start the second session here now. What we're going to do is bring up the questions. Obviously, there's a couple different formats I've shown you how you can use this. And I want to go through each of these individual questions and give you some recommendations on how and what to answer, how much detail, these kinds of things. But also to provide you with a source for where you can get this information. Okay, so a couple of things when we start out here. Have a browser window. You're probably using tab browsing. Have an extra browser open to start out. We're really only going to use about 2 sites, and most of the links can come from the aviationweather.gov website. So we'll actually bring both of these up. We'll just do the same thing. Bring up the aviationweather.gov in both of these tabs. First of all, just to verify, we talked about both of these different types. You can use the table method, which I think is a great idea. It's easy to have the information. To keep things simple, though, I'll just use the basic format that we've used. So to get started, please make sure that your name, the date, the weather tracking day, whether it's 1st through 5th day of weather tracking, as well as the location and time. One of the challenges when I receive these is making sure that I have enough information that I can actually verify and check to see your progress. So please do include that. And we're going to go ahead and put this information in. And we'll go ahead and put the first day and Salt Lake City. And one of the things to be careful, once in a while I'll have a student give me the local time. It's not the end of the world, but I just want you to be careful to put the Zulu time, because all the charts that I'm going to be tracking and verifying this with are obviously in Zulu. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's jump right in. Where the locations of high and low pressure systems are the first 2 questions. We're also going to look at fronts. Really, we can go to the aviationweather.gov site. And my recommendation is, probably for 90% of the questions, is that you head on down on the left side of the page here under the home link, okay, and you find the connection to ads home. This is the Aviation Digital Data Service. Probably my preference for 95% of the weather information I'm going to pull. Back in the time period when I was dispatching, this was all experimental information. It's just such a valuable resource to pilots. We've got to do a better job using this. So up at the top you have your tabs: turbulence, icing, convection, winds and temps, prog charts, Java tools. We'll go into each one of these, but I want to start with a prog chart. Understanding we're looking at current conditions, this particular product does have the ability to give us the current service analysis, and it's located right here. We'll click on the latest service analysis, and with that information, I'm going to slide this over just a little bit. We're going to squeeze these together. I'm using a high resolution screen, and I realize this. I'm also going to be talking fairly quickly, just to try to keep the file size down. You can rewind or replay, of course, but I want to give as much information as I can. Okay, when you look at this, we can answer these 3 questions with this one chart, this latest service analysis off of aviationweather.gov, the ad site. I can go in and find the high pressure systems. I'm looking on the screen. I want general location. Obviously, we've got one over Western Texas. I'm looking at the high pressure at the bottom of the screen. Western Texas, Eastern New Mexico. I don't need verbose explanations. Lat long general information is enough. South Dakota, and that's going to be sufficient. That one in Canada, it's enough off the border. I'll take it without it on that. There we are. First question is answered. Second question, we'll bold these so you can see what we've entered. Low pressure systems. Okay. Excuse me. Now we're getting into some places where this is a little bit difficult for us to identify. And if you want to use, you know, low pressure off the eastern seaboard, if you want to place it over the DC area, I mean, give me something, Virginia. I don't care. It just needs to be accurate enough that I can see that you're correct in your spotting of these low pressure systems. We're going to put, DC, Virginia area, and another Western New York. Okay, obviously we got to check our geography just a little bit here. That low pressure system, it's going to be interesting for us to see. This is actually a great example. I think we'll probably see some pretty strong variances ahead of and behind this front. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So we'll jump right into question 3. Well, what about the fronts? Well, you know, this one right here, you've got a little bit of a stationary front. We'll address this one first. We've got a stationary descending into, Montana from Canada.